Hey guys, I wanted to talk about some things that have been going on this week with me. It's almost like irrational fears with Whitney, but like God is so amazing. Man, I feel like that's the main thing that I'm learning all of this is that God is so amazing and that He is refining me in so many ways. But this last week, I was freaking out. I was having some meltdowns. I was just like, we've got this big benefit coming up, and what's going to happen? Are we going to have enough people? And what are we doing? And I just need to do it all myself. That's where I was. And so many little things have happened. One of them being when I was at church, Pastor was preaching on Proverbs, but he was talking about the fear of God and how that's different than fear that we think of, and it's more about like the respect that you love, admire, and respect God so much that it's like that fear for Him. So it was very, it really caught me and said, like, do you have that for God to trust that He's taking care of this, And then my daughter Kaya, she is competitive gymnastics, so we are doing her, she always tries to do a gymnastics camp every summer, so we are traveling for that. You can tell them in a hotel room. And so traveling with a friend of mine, because she's like, you're not going by yourself. Absolutely not. So anyways, so we're going, and she brings out a journal, and I was like, what is that? And she goes, it is my dad's journal. He has passed away within the last few years, but it's from the 90s when he was doing some Bible studies. And I'll put it in here in a second. Like I'll cut the video and like put the picture in so you can see what it says. But ultimately, it talks about how he was like in charge of something, and 3 years ago he remembered that he was like, during this time it was my first year doing it, and I felt like I had this responsibility to do it all myself, whereas this year I know that I need to have the faith in Jesus, and just the understanding that it's not all me, And so I'll put the thing in here of what it is. As I approach this year's drive, I understand that I must not be anxious about anything, but in everything, by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. So that happened, right? And I was like, oh, right in the feels, Well, then we're driving, and I get a phone call from my pharmaceutical insurance side of things. And I am on Ocrevus. It was my first one. Like, you have to split it between 2 weeks and stuff. But I was told that it was pre-approved. So I went and got it done. And then come to find out that my regular insurance and my pharmaceutical insurance had split. And so you had to go through the pharmaceutical. So it was never pre-approved. So I was sitting on $100,000 in debt because the way that the insurance had wants you to do it is to basically buy the medicine, then infuse the medicine. And the hospital I went to said, we don't do it that way, and we've already done it. So I had to, about 6 weeks, do like, can I get an exception? Like, what can I do? And so this lady calls me, and she's like, hey, I need to talk to you about this medicine. And I was like, yes, like, I got the exception, like, it should be okay. Like, we talked about it. And she's like, yes. She goes, but you're pre-approved through the end of June for this medicine, and you need to, like, basically get your next one scheduled so that we can extend your pre-approval, because you get it done every 6 months. So I would get it done in August. Well, with me going to Mexico, I can't get that Ocrevus because you have to be 3 months free of having the infusion. So if I went September 29th, I can't go get another thing of Ocrevus, which is the medicine that, the immunotherapy medicine that helps you to, hopefully not get any more lesions, right? And so I was like, okay, well, I'll get back to you. I was like, well, what happens if I don't get it scheduled before then? And she's like, well, then you're going to have to go through the whole entire process of pre-approving again. Which, mind you, we went through all of that stuff because of the after. So I get off the phone and I'm like, okay, I'm feeling like I'm being like tested right now, not by God, but my faith is feeling tested right now, because let's say that I don't raise enough money, and by June 30th, I'm not going to know that if I've raised enough money. And so then what? I'm going to, in faith, I'm not going to make an appointment. So then what's going to happen is that, like, I didn't make the appointment, and then I don't raise enough money and I don't go. So then right away, so then from August until I do raise enough money, I don't have anything in my system preventative wise. Nothing at all. Or I make an appointment and I'm not stepping out in faith, because I know and God has told me that I'm going to this and this is happening. So then we're having our 5K this weekend. Two really great people have really been doing an awesome job, and I've got a team that's been working on it, and we're doing this 5K, and she calls and said, we've had 15 people sign up just today, and it's going to be huge. And it's like, okay, God, okay, the faith, I understand.